In today's education news, only 1.5 of school staff are unaffected by stress at work. The findings from research by the NEU reveal that 1 in 3 state school teachers in England are stressed at work for at least 4/5 of the time, while only a fraction say they are never overstretched. This is something I've talked about previously, how the stress, the pressure, the scrutiny of the job is having such a negative impact on so many teachers, leading them to leave the profession, which is why we've got the biggest retention crisis we've ever had in teaching. Despite talking about this for years, it feels nothing seems to be getting better, it only seems to be getting worse. A majority of the 14,000 teachers surveyed said they regularly have to work during the evenings and weekends, and a third say they frequently cancel plans with family and friends to get on top of their workload. Now, this is a thing for me. It's very, very rare I come across a teacher who isn't willing to work hard. We are always willing to do a little bit extra if we know the work we're going to do is going to have a direct impact on teaching and learning in class. No single teacher came into the profession thinking, I'm only going to work my contracted hours. And I know we're always going to have to do a little bit more. I think the thing that frustrates me with this and so many other teachers is I genuinely question how much of this extra work teachers are doing actually has an impact on teaching and learning. I feel the vast majority of this time being spent working during the evenings and weekends is more about us as teachers now working in a system where we're constantly having to prove that we're doing the job the vast majority of us are capable of doing. So this, again, just all comes down to this culture where there is no trust in teachers anymore. And so much time is being spent having to show, no, look, we are doing the job. And that comes from the likes of Ofsted. When you're working in a system that is constantly scrutinising you, pressuring you, making you feel like you're a constant failure, it has a knock-on impact to your mental health. In this article, they talk about the long holidays, which are always envied by other professions, always thrown back in our face. How can you moan about how hard teaching is when you get all those holidays? Well, listen, look at the stats. If teaching was as easy as you think it is with all these holidays, why have we got over 40,000 teachers leaving the profession every single year? The thing is, I am never making these videos with the intention of, oh, my job is more stressful than your job. I know there are so many other jobs that are just as, if not more stressful than teaching. The point I'm making here is teaching doesn't need to be this way. It doesn't need to have this level of stress that is forcing so many teachers to leave. 1 in 3 teachers say they always had to deal with work during the school holidays, while fewer than 1 in 10 say they're able to enjoy a complete break. One teacher responded, you feel exhausted all the time and they're guilty for sacrificing your own family time. It's not a profession which allows you to have a life outside of work and is mentally draining and detrimental to your mental and physical health. Which is really sad, because this used to be a job that was encouraged for people with young families because it gave you the holidays to be able to spend quality time. But I feel over the past decade or so, the holidays especially has almost been weaponized against teachers to just continue to add to their plate to say, oh, look, listen, you should be able to do this because don't forget, you get all those holidays. In this article, the research found that teachers attribute workload problems to staff shortages and retention issues, including unfulfilled vacancies and a lack of support staff, as well as absences through illness. And nothing is going to get better unless we address those workload issues, unless we are able to bring a bit of trust back into the profession, which will come from actual reform with the likes of Ofsted. There's got to be so much more funding to make sure support staff are adequately paid and are valued within the school system, not the first to get cut when the budgets are as bad as they are. These sort of things need to change, otherwise it's just going to get worse, which is going to lead to more teachers leaving the profession.